Hi everyone, welcome to EADDY'S Craft Room. I'm Hannah Catherine Smith. This is my first video I have filmed since I have gotten married and also gotten back from my honeymoon, and there are so many things I want to share with you. It's so great to be back in the chair and sharing some new things that I have been working on. Before I do that though, I wanted to put together some of the crafting that I unexpectedly got to do while we were on our honeymoon in Thailand. I used the time that I was away for our wedding and honeymoon to have my sewing machine serviced, and it was really tough saying goodbye to crafting for such a long amount of time, but I'm so glad I did because my sewing machine is running so much smoother, and I got to try some new crafting techniques while I was abroad. Also, if you've been around for a little bit, you may also have noticed I cut all my hair off. I think it's one of those things that a lot of people do when they have big life changes, and I figured since the wedding and associated pictures were done and I was entering a new chapter of life, it was time for something new. So with all that said, let's jump into the crafting. Our travels throughout Thailand took us to Bangkok, the city, Chiang Mai, the mountains, and Phuket, the southern beaches. All of it was absolutely amazing. But in Chiang Mai, I got to do a little bit of weaving. One of our stops along the way included a stop to visit a hill tribe in the region. Now, hill tribes are actually made up of various ethnic groups who generally inhabit the mountainous regions of Thailand, and there are different ethnic groups. I'm not exactly sure which one we visited, although I think based on some research, it might have been the Karen people. But essentially, these people are farmers and also benefit off of the tourism that comes through their area. It was really exciting to see such a different way of life from what I know in the city in the United States, and to learn about the different customs and history of a completely different group of people. When we arrived into the village, I saw some textiles hanging from one of the buildings in the village, and there was an older woman in that building doing some weaving. She was in her element. Our guide told us that once people age out of being able to work on the different farms, primarily rice paddies, they go and make things with their hands in their homes. Of course, I was fascinated with what she was doing, and it was such beautiful work. And she offered me the opportunity to learn a little bit about it and get some hands-on experience myself. The way her loom was set up was so that she had essentially a leather belt behind her holding the structure in place, and her feet pressing on a piece of wood in front, so that she was really sitting in the middle of her machine. Now, I think this made a great option for her, but I am 5'7", which is not that tall for a female here in the United States, but in Thailand, I am a giant. So I did have to do a little crunching, and although there was a language barrier, I know she was laughing about our size difference, but we made it work. And I don't know if our guide was just trying to make me feel better, but he did say that she made a comment that I was catching on quickly, and I got the opportunity to show her some of the quilts that I make here at home. It was such an amazing experience where two people who come from such different backgrounds, are in different age groups, live on completely opposite sides of the world, and don't speak the same language, were able to bond over our love for crafting. Once I got to see a little bit more of what she did, I had the opportunity to buy some of her items that she had made. Together, we had worked on a scarf, so I thought that was the perfect thing for me to take home. And so I purchased this gorgeous scarf from her. Check out these gorgeous colors. There's some green and black and purple, and I'm so excited to style this and incorporate it into my wardrobe somehow. Now, this scarf I purchased for 150 Thai baht, which at the time of making this video is about $4.12. The US dollar really carries far in Thailand, and knowing how much work and craftsmanship went into this, apparently it takes her about 2 weeks just to make one scarf. I did have to throw in a generous tip as well. It does take a crafter to truly know what goes into making something like this, and I felt that her work was valued at a far higher price than what she was selling for. Chiang Mai also held another crafting opportunity for me. There are quite a few elephant sanctuaries in the area, and we had the opportunity to visit one and get to spend some time with the elephants in an ethical way. We got to feed them lots of sugarcane and bananas and grass and the things that they generally like to eat, and we got to take them on a walk and also bathe them in the stream. It was such a unique experience. Now, one thing that's really interesting about elephants is they spend about 20 hours a day just eating. So you can imagine what goes in has to come out. So what do you do with all of that? Well, the people in the region have capitalized on this output, if you will, and set up the Elephant Poo Paper Park. This was something that was not necessarily on our itinerary, but our guide took us to, and it might have been one of my favorite things we did in our whole 2 weeks in Thailand. Since elephants are herbivores, what they actually produce is essentially just raw cellulose. So when it first comes out of them, it doesn't smell so great, but after it's dried, it's actually fairly odorless. It's kind of amazing. You can actually pick it up with your hand. It just feels like straw and smell it right in your face. And it's not what you would expect. Believe me, it goes against everything that I think we know and understand, but it's really, really cool. So the process for turning elephant poo into paper includes boiling it with something called marigosa leaves, which is actually just a natural disinfectant. And so after it's sterilized, it's actually mixed with recycled paper. And so the result is actually a 100% natural material that they are able to make. After the poop has been cleaned and boiled, they pulp the fibers using this machine. Of course, you could do it by hand, but machinery does make things a lot faster, and it does increase the output quite a bit. So then once you have that fibrous pulp, you're able to add dye to it to make beautiful colors, and you have to essentially sift it in these screens. It was a lot of fun, and the texture is really interesting to play with, and you even it out into what we would know as a paper shape, so just a rectangle. Well, of course you can make it into any shape, but this is what we did. Once you have everything evenly laid out, it goes into the sun to dry for a few days to a few weeks, depending upon the climate and how humid or how rainy it is, and then you have paper. As tempting as it was to take some time to design my own Elephant Poo paper products, my husband and our guide were very patient, but I don't think patient enough to let me spend the rest of the afternoon there designing myself. So I took advantage of some of the items that local artisans had created. So I wanted to show you a little bit of what I got, and this is the bag that it came in. It has made it through in my suitcase from the other side of the world, so pardon that it's a little bit beat up, but I wanted to keep everything in its original state as much as possible to show you. And this is just a cute little elephant that we were given as part of our tour throughout the park that we wore to mark us as visitors, so I saved that as well. So the first thing I got was a journal. I love to write things down. This is for me, and I just love notebooks and journals. So you can see how the texture is just beautiful and different, and it also is quite functional. So I'm excited to keep a lot of my memories in here and write all the important things down. I also got this bookmark, and I love the two-tone here, and this is also for me, and it complements the notebook really well. I also got this Christmas ornament, and I am so excited to add this to my collection of Christmas ornaments. My mom's best friends actually threw me a bridal shower back in December, and the theme was Christmas ornaments. So all of them were graciously contributing to my married life Christmas ornament collection, and so I decided that this would be so fun to add to that and for us to be able to look back on our wonderful memories in Thailand for years and years and years to come with this memento. The next items I got are actually gifts, so I did get another notebook. This is for my great aunt who loves to travel, and I thought she would appreciate this so much and also be able to keep her memories in there. We're a lot alike in a lot of ways, and I thought she would appreciate it just as much as I do. I don't want to unwrap this one, so it's a little bit hard to see, but this is essentially a stack of just notepad paper. I got this for my grandmother, who is an artist and also contributed quite a bit to my crafting and art skills. I thought she would appreciate this. It has a cardinal on it, and you can kind of see the two-tone of the paper there, so it's two different colors of paper used to make this adorable notebook. Growing up, we always had one of these next to the family home phone so we could take notes on who called and what they had to say. And I don't know, I just thought that this would be something perfect to sit next to her phone there, or however she chooses to use it. And last but certainly not least is a gift for my mom. My mom does watch my videos, so Mom, if you want to be surprised on your Mother's Day gift, look away. If you are horrified by the fact that I got you poop for Mother's Day, I'm so sorry. I just couldn't resist. I thought it was so cool. This is also a notepad, and this has a tiger motif on it. I loved this. It's a little box, and then within that box it has some of that paper as well. My mom is a huge Clemson Tigers fan, so I thought that this would be perfect for her. I hope you enjoyed something a little different today. It was so much fun getting to share these treasures with you, and also these experiences that are so near and dear to my heart. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again next time here on EADDY'S Craft Room. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments section. Tell me what you liked, tell me what you didn't like, and I'll be sure to respond as quickly as possible. Thank you again for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.